Hello, beautiful people. Today, I want to help you with a way that you can make your social media graphics much more quickly, much more smoothly, and so that your designs can be more cohesive. And there's no surprise because I put it in the title that we're going to use Canva. So let's head over to Canva and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So now we are over on the Canva home page. And I want you to pay close attention because what we're going to do here is we're going to choose the social media option. Let's do that. And now you're going to see this new feature in Canva that's called Quick Create. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. Canva Quick Create. All right. Then, and let me just double check. I'm going to come over here and I see now you can see what I'm doing here. All right. So I see Antoinette is here. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So I'm going to choose again Instagram, story, and I'm going to choose Twitter. And like I said earlier, it's important that I choose Twitter and you'll see why and when I'm done. All right. So I'm going to start timing now. It is now 11:45. Okay. And so here we go. We're going to continue, but I could choose these other options if I want, but for now we're just going to stick with that. And I'm going to put in that text there and I'm double checking, making sure you guys can see everything. And then here, I'm going to put in my website. And as I mentioned earlier, you can see if I didn't put in that secondary text as my website, I would be able to upload my logo, but I've already done it here. But you can see if you're on the Canva Pro and you have your logo in there, you can also upload your whole brand kit on Canva Pro. All right, so now we're going to choose the image, and that image is going to come in here and replace the one that's already there. Okay, isn't this cool? Canva has already made these designs. All right, so let's go to continue, and you'll see simple, organic, fun, geometric, modern, and elegant. All right, so we have that choice. So let's go back to the one that I love. That is one of my favorites, and that's one of the, I believe that's one of the organic ones here. This one is the one that I like, and then continue. All right, are you with me now? All right, and I see love, 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 Canva Pro. Thank you for starting again. Yes, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for your comments, everyone. All right, so here, I want you to see this original palette. This is the one that Canva has in for everyone, okay? And then you also have the ability to add the brand kit. Let me take that comment down so you guys don't miss anything. You can upload a brand kit when you have Canva Pro. And oh, by the way, there's something that I almost forgot to tell you, and that is if you haven't started using Canva yet and you want to get started with it, there's the link that you're going to use. It's Eileen.link/Canva. All right, so make sure you check that out, and that link will also be in the description of this video. Okay, so let's go back to screen share. And I'll try it. In fact, I'll put myself on the side. This way I know I'm not covering anything up. Okay, so I have a brand kit on Canva. So that's where you see these colors here, the red and the two different blues, the yellow and the green. That's my brand kit. But also Canva has looked at that image and pulled out a palette. They've created a palette that's based on the image. Now that's different. Let me scroll back up to the original palette. All right. Oh, it just so happens to be similar colors because of the image. But then there's also these other built-in palettes that are available to you. All right. So I'm going to use my brand palette. All right. But if I don't like any of these, maybe I don't like the way the red and the yellow, to me, it's just a little muddled there. So I'm just going to shuffle. Now, see, just from that quick shuffle, notice how the blue and the yellow, that yellow stands out more. You can see that text there. But if I didn't like it, I could just keep shuffling until I am happy. Okay, so let me just come on screen and make sure I get your comments. Okay, so I love these incorporated steps features on this new option. Me too. I absolutely love them. But I want you, especially for those of you who are using YouTube, I want you to make sure you stay for this next piece, because notice that YouTube was not one of the options that we could create. And then I'm also going to give everybody another tip. So, are you streaming using StreamYard? Yes, I'm using StreamYard, and that's where I should have originally just shared the whole Chrome tab instead of picking a specific tab, because then it opened up a new tab. Oh, well, such is life. That's live stream. And that's the beauty of having you all, my friends here, telling me, no, you're doing it wrong. But it's the beauty of live streaming. And Antoinette says, I love that you can create new podcast cover art for each podcast episode within Buzzsprout. Oh my gosh, yes. Canva has so many integrations. It's integrated with Buzzsprout, and it's integrated with Libsyn. It's also integrated with AWeber, and who knows what other email service providers it's integrated with. I just know it's integrated with AWeber. So, and if you remember, I could choose the StreamYard layout option is fantastic. Yes. And if you remember, I could also choose email header. That was one of the original design options that I had. And we can go back to that. In fact, let's just go back. Let's see how well I can go back here. If I go back, all right, so just to make sure that everybody saw this, all the different formats I could have picked from: Instagram post, story, Facebook post, Facebook cover, Twitter, Pinterest, email header, and LinkedIn post. All right, so let's see if it took me back to where we were. I think it did, except for I think that I need to go back here and go back into the brand kit. Let's see, maybe is that under styles? Yes, there you go. All right, and yes, I had chose the one with the blue with the yellow. Okay, so let's go to the next steps. Nope, just realized, yeah, once again, I'm not sharing the screen. I'll get it together, y'all. All right, information man. Thank you so very much for the super chat. That is so kind of you. And you came in on a different profile that time to screen share where you are in the process. Yes, there you go. So I'm going to go back, because why not? I would just want to go back, and so you can see all the different formats, because this is like really one of the most important parts of this whole process. And yes, and you all are still thanking me. Thank you, dear, and thank you for laughing at me too. I appreciate you. Here we go. One more time. Instagram, story, Facebook, cover, Twitter, Pinterest, email, and LinkedIn. All right. So now it lets me come back to where I was in the process, which is super cool. And I think the only thing that I have to do again, all right, even when I clicked that, it brought me back to where I was with choosing the colors. Okay. So we're all good to go there. And we're going to click finish. All right, now let me make sure you can see that. All right, so there you go. You can see this. Yay! Thank you so much for the super chat, Kate. You guys are being so generous with the super chats today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Marcus. They don't have a button for she forgot to screen share. If that button was there, y'all could hit that too. But anyway, all right. So here's what I want you guys to do. Instead of downloading, I want you to see my collection. See my collection. Because, okay, let me just say, I gotta come clean. I gotta come clean. I have recorded this video 3 times for you. And I flubbed up the recordings too. And that's why I said, you know what? I'll just go live. But one of the places where I got stuck and I had to do over and over and figure out what the heck am I doing wrong? And that's this piece right here. So that's why I want to share that with you. Marcus, you are such a great supporter. Thank you, dear. All right, so this is why I think this is so important, and I want you all to see it. And I'm going to do nothing but screen share this time. All right. All right, so I have, see, it's called the Canva Quick Create. So the first tip I'm going to show you is now how to make this a YouTube thumbnail. So we're going to open up the Twitter post. Okay. I'm going to open up the Twitter post because remember, YouTube was not an option. And we're going to resize. Now, the Twitter post is just very similar to the YouTube thumbnail. So even though I'm resizing it, it didn't really change the design that much. But let's say I do, I kind of want to make some changes. Maybe this is not the way I want my YouTube thumbnail to look. So for example, now I want to change the font. So I will use my branded font, which is Babas. All right. And then I go in here and add a little spacing. See how these 2 lines are too close together? So I'm going to add some line spacing. Okay. And if I wanted to do letter spacing, and I probably am going to make that in the middle, I can get rid of the eileensmith.com on YouTube. And then I can just resize it, move it around to my heart's content. Okay, because remember, this is a different design now. This isn't part of that collection. Now, honestly, I probably will get rid of the little things here. But I know this is the trend to have these little blobs and all that stuff. Even though it's not my favorite, I just know it's on the trend. And so that's why Canva uses that. I'll probably want to make her bigger though. And so whatever it is I want to do, and we're not going to go into all the things we can do with Canva, but I just wanted to show you this. And then you want to see how when I made that copy, it put YouTube thumbnail at the end. All right. So, but I'm also just going to, for my own sanity, get rid of the thing that says Twitter. So now I would download this and have this as a thumbnail. In fact, let me tweak just one little thing because it's annoying me. All right. Okay. So now let me come back on screen. All right. So you made your little edits, but you still have all those original designs. And this was the second part that had me like going a little crazy. Hello, Shannon. How are you, dear? Had me, like, where is those original designs that I made? Let me show you, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to go back to, this is where, all right. So this is where the page you come to when you're finished with all of your designs. Now, one thing you may want to do is favorite this. So you can start. And now, we're not limited to those 25 characters anymore because it named it that main text that I had there, which was Canva Quick Create. But I'm just going to put a 1 in front of this. Or no, I'm going to put an A, the letter A in front of this, and I'll show you why in a second. a Canva Quick Create. Okay. And I also started because this is how you're going to be able to find these designs again if you want to make tweaks to now the Instagram post and to the story post if you want to change those fonts. All right, so first let's go back to home. And then you're going to go to your projects. Your projects. All right. Now you see the one that I made there for the YouTube thumbnail and also the one for Twitter, but where are the other ones, right? Scroll down to folders and it created a folder for me. Remember, it was called Canva Quick Create, but I changed the name so it would come up on top just to make it easier for me to find, to share with you guys. And so there it is. There's that folder with all 3 of those designs that I made from Quick Create. They're there for me to go in here. Now I can go back to your story and now I can change that font so that it matches the other and do the same thing that I did, which was increase the line spacing, right? And I changed it to centered. And in fact, as I'm looking at this now, I kind of wish that I had that red color in this design instead of, I got rid of it when I did the little shuffle. So how do I change it, right? So I go to color and remember, I'm using the brand kit option. Let me get myself off of the screen share. And so that, and hang on, I got to say hello to Mr. Rodney. Hi, Rod. I'm on a live stream. All right. And so I can go in there and grab my red. Okay. And even if I wanted to do it on the bottom, it doesn't look, it looks okay when it's not behind the text. And it definitely is an eye popper, right? So, and if I want to, like I said, get rid of the leaves, or whatever, or I can keep the leaves. It's up to you. It's your design. Canva has empowered you to make. They have mission statements. And one of the mission statements is make complex things simple. So now you just saw how it made something that was previously complex because you had to resize it. You have an image and then you need to resize it for a story. Then you need to resize it for Twitter. And then, now you can just quick create everything. Okay. Marcus, thank you so much. And Kate says, I need to clean up and create folders for my designs in Canva. Folders are life in Canva. Folders, it's almost like your personal Bible in Canva. So here's another tip. I usually save these tips for my patrons and Patreon, but I told them months ago so I can share it with you now. What I like to do, because I am a YouTuber, right? And, some of the designs that are, and I also make YouTube thumbnails for my daughter's channel. Shout out to Nicole Purvey from Better Than Success. And so sometimes I just have to make a thumbnail on the fly. And I did that a lot this week because she had a big campaign going. She put out a video almost every single day this week. And so I needed to I can't sit there and just go through all these templates looking for good YouTube thumbnails. So here's my tip. What I do, I say I'm just going to start with a new design, brand new design. And I can even search for YouTube thumbnail. Okay. And I go through here and I find ones that I like. All right. So for example, this is a good one. It's got nice, bold, chunky text. Okay, we know the first thing we need to do is get rid of the image that's in there. Just not on brand or anything like that. But I know that I would love to use this layout. I don't have to worry about thinking of an idea because, my daughter does real estate. So this would probably be a great way for me to like put the words real estate in there, depending upon what the topic of the video is. So how am I going to remember this 3 days from now or a month from now when she says, I need a thumbnail? I go in here, I file, and I save it to folder. Save to folder. And I can see that you all can, I'm screen sharing it correctly. And I can search through my folders, and you all see I have a folder already called YouTube. No, it's actually called template thumbnail. I'm sorry, thumbnail templates. I need to add the word YouTube there. And you see I have 98 items in that folder. Thumbnail templates, save. All right, so now let's just go to that folder. Projects, folders, and right now I'm going to rename that, and I'm going to say YouTube. I don't know why I don't have the word YouTube in there. All right. And you'll see all these different templates that I've saved in here over time. So when the time comes and I need to make a thumbnail, just like the one that I made for today's video, I've got the templates here. And so this is how you stay organized. And whenever you see a design that you like, a template, or, a lot of times people will offer these free templates and free designs for you to sign up to their email list as lead magnets and so forth. And you bring it into your Canva, but then, like I said, 6 weeks later, you don't remember where you put it. But if you make a folder, like I have a folder for lead magnet ideas, and I have a folder for real estate. Sometimes I just find images that I know I want to use in the background of one of her thumbnails, right? So it's just a picture of some nice real estate, some landscape or whatever. And I put that in that folder. So using folders, even if you're someone who right now is using Canva Pro, or you're using the free version of Canva and you're like, I'm not going to do quick create, but one thing I want you to do, one takeaway that I want you to have for using Canva is to start organizing things in folders. And I'm not an organization junkie, but it has made made my life so much easier with using Canva, and allowed me to just easily pick up and make a design. And it may not always be the best design ever, but it's a design where you had nothing before, and then you can watch some tutorials. I always talk about the channel with Ronnie and Diana, which is called Design with Canva. And there's a bunch of new, what they're calling Canva ambassadors, or Cambassadors. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. You save it in your favorites so you can always access it. Yeah, favorites is really just another folder. That's all favorites is. It's just another folder, but it's called favorites, right? And so you got a hodgepodge of stuff in there. But if like Information Man Show, that you've got your logos because you've got all these different brands. So you want to make sure, especially if you're on a free plan and you can't upload a logo, you want to make sure that you have all of your show logos in one place, or your podcast logos in one place, not mixed in with all your favorites. See, because your favorites are going to be a whole kinds of stuff. They're going to be images. They're going to be graphics that you've added, and all, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Favorites could be anything, but this way you categorize things. I hope that makes sense to you for your workflow and or write your folder. Yes. All right. This new quick create is a game changer. Yes, it is. And like I said earlier, if you're not using Canva, give it a try. Eileen.link/Canva. Okay. If you're on the free version of Canva, you can still get the upgrade. Oops. You can still upgrade for 30 days to try it out. Okay. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about Canva right here on this channel and over on Facebook, because I'm multi-streaming right now over to Facebook. And I want your questions. I want your questions because I'm doing deep dives into these Canva tools. I just don't, I don't want to bombard you with all the stuff that I've been learning, because I've been learning so much. I will share you one more thing, because this one is just to make up for screen sharing the wrong stuff earlier. How about that? All right. Here's this one thing that I want to show you that I think is also another game changer. And I'm not sure if this is available on the free plan or not. So let's go back to home and let's just pick any design. Doesn't matter. All right. And I want you, this is a feature that I've been ignoring. Okay. But I want you to pay attention to this as styles. Now here I have my brand kit selected, but I'm going to change it now, and I'm going to use BTS, which is Nicole's better. She's probably going to hate that I use this image of her. So let's just get rid of that. We're going to put another image in there. Oh, and I've got all her stuff in a folder. Where's her Nicole folder? Yes, there she is. We'll put this one right here in here. And what I'm going to do is make this the background. So we're going to replace the current background with that image by using replace background, right? Did you see that? Yeah, you saw it. I'm going to move this type over. We'll do something else different with the type. But what I want to show you here is this styles section here. The style section. So now it's applying her colors to those fonts, to the type that I have there, the text that I have there. But then also, let's just say I don't care about using her font, which is this one here. A designer picked that font. But let's just say I want to try something different, and I'll try this one. And I got these on 2 different layers, and so that's why that's happening. Hang on, let's just get rid of this one of these. Let's get rid of the wrong one. I must have it locked or something. We'll get rid of it that way. It's always more than one way to skin a cat. All right, so we're going to do it like this here. Go in here and get rid of that space. Of course, that type, actually it's not that bad. But I just want you to see how you can change to the different fonts and things just by going in here. And I like to use the chunkier fonts. Let's find another one. Oh, this is a good one, the Archivo. But also, if I want to make it bigger, I just type on the plus. So I can shuffle it to see what the different colors look like. Okay, so this is area that I definitely want us to pay attention to, those of us who use Canva, is to go into those styles and see what you can do with those styles. Now, actually, this is Ecamm Live here. That's put my little Canva banner up there. And Kate says, thank you. Started using Canva thanks to your recommendation a few years ago and up my game for our local nonprofit. Woohoo! Yes. Can I say your tutorials and recommendations have help my brands. I think you meant help my brand. Oh, thank you so much. That warms my heart. This is my goal. This is one of the things that I want to do, is to help empower you, because you just never know who is being impacted by your tutorials and the things that you're putting out there. And I want you all to be able to use these tools. And I'm not going to ever like just tell you about a tool that I haven't used and recommend it, and because I get offers all the time. You would be surprised at the emails that come in to me for people saying, "Can you show my tool?" Can you? I get DM'd on Instagram, the whole bit. And it's like, no, first of all, I don't have time to try every tool that comes down the pike. And in the beginning, I was hearing this talk about everybody knows that the design is from Canva. That's not the case anymore. And even though with that quick create, you are limited to the number of different styles that you can have, but Canva going to, do y'all know how many updates they make? That's why there's a plethora of tutorials and so forth on Canva right now, because they update Canva every week. Nobody can keep up with the number of feature updates that they make. I think they make more updates than YouTube, because YouTube's been making a lot of updates lately too. But there's just so many features that that they're going to add more designs to this quick create based on our feedback, based on how we're using it, how much we use it, which ones people don't use as much, the color palettes, and so forth. But it's all been very well thought out. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water. It's all been very well thought out. And it's really just, like I said earlier, one of their mission statements is to make complex things simple. So don't believe the hype about people knowing that your designs are from Canva. Guess what? When somebody's design is from Photoshop, people can look at that and tell it's from Photoshop. So what's the big deal? Canva has just as much respect. And at this point, Canva has more features than Photoshop and presents them to us in an easy to understand way. And that's why I will be doing more tutorials, because sometimes it's just something quick that you want to go in there and show how to do, such as the quick create tool. And then just talk to you about the styles and talk to you about the palettes. But there's so much. You can make videos on Canva now as well. So there's just no telling. There's no stopping you. I want you to go out there and make some great stuff with Canva, and leave comments and let me know on the replay, because I definitely will be trimming this video. But I so appreciate each and every one of you. And that's what you do. Make complex things simple for us lay folk. Kate, you got that right. That's one of the reasons probably why I am really pushing and being an advocate for Canva, because some of their mission statements, they have like 5 of them. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but some of them, it's like be kind and make the world a better place, that kind of a thing. And I resonate with their mission. You know what? I'm going to have to do it. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to, because actually I looked it up this morning, but I just wanted to go to that one that they call them values. They call them values. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do screen share. Actually, I'm not on the Canva website. I'm actually on Google. Be a force for good, empower others, pursue excellence, be a good human, make complex things simple. That's the one I've been talking about all day. Set crazy big goals and make them happen. Now, that's the one that I probably should, need to integrate into, because all these other things, be a force for good, empower others, pursue excellence, be a good human. I've already lived and walked that walk, and make complex things simple is what I've been trying to do. But the set crazy big goals and make them happen, I guess I've done that once or twice. I can't say I always think about that in the morning when I wake up, but I need to, and so do you. I think these are amazing values, and something that you should always think about having for your company or for your content is to have those values. Like, for example, you all know, and for those of you who don't know, when I start my programs, I always say, hello, beautiful people. And doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or non binary. I know that you have a beautiful message inside of you that just needs to come out. But you might be a little afraid of the tech. You might be a little unsure of yourself and, not willing to get on camera. But what I want to do is show you what buttons to push, even though sometimes I push the wrong ones myself, but what buttons to push so that you will feel confident. You will get in front of that camera and spread your beautiful message, because you can be impacting and changing someone's life. And I want you to be empowered to do that. And you exemplify all those values. I resonate with these as well. And Kate, yes, you do. You absolutely do. And I thank you for saying that about me, because you have been on this road with me for so many years. And so you've seen this. And Pixel Pia is here. Hello. How you doing? So I just to let you know, Pixel Pia, in the very beginning of this video, I forgot to screen share, because I know you're a Canva advocate as well. So just so you know, if you watch the replay, you may have to fast forward a bit to the part where I listened to my friends and my audience that tell me you're not screen sharing. But I got it together. I made a strong comeback. So it's definitely worth watching this replay. I thank each and every one of you so very much for joining me today. And since you've already heard my missions, my goal, or what I want to do with content, what I want you to do with your content, go out there and make a difference, because you never know who's watching. And with that, as always, I say, stay beautiful.